Think about your typical morning. You wake up and check your phone. The first thing you see is a notification about a monthly payment. Maybe it's your car loan or credit card balance. It feels like a normal part of life now. But it wasn't always this way. The world around you is actually built to make sure you owe money. Have you ever wondered why it is so easy to get a loan, but so hard to pay it back? Everything from the layout of a grocery store to the apps on your phone plays a role. They want you to spend money you don't have yet. Credit used to be for emergencies only. Now, it's the default way to buy almost everything. Think about the last time you bought something online. Did you see an option to pay in for small installments? It looks harmless. It feels like a shortcut to getting what you want right now. But these small choices add up fast. Before you know it, your entire paycheck is spoken for before it even hits your bank account. Why does it feel like everyone is in the same boat? It's because the system thrives when you're in debt. Banks don't make money when you pay cash. They make money when you carry a balance. Interest is the price you pay for using tomorrow's money today, and that price is getting higher every year. Look at the cost of a house or an education. These are the biggest milestones in a person's life, yet they are almost impossible to achieve without signing a contract for 30 years. Does that sound like freedom to you? Most people just accept it as the way things are. We stop questioning the high interest rates. We stop looking at the total cost of the loan. We only focus on whether we can afford the monthly payment. That's the first trap. Focusing on the monthly cost hides the true weight of the debt. It keeps you focused on the short term. Meanwhile, the debt is growing in the background. It's a quiet cycle that never seems to end. Every time you pay off one card, another expense pops up. The car needs a repair. The roof starts leaking. You turn back to credit because you haven't been able to save. How can you save when your money is going to interest? It's a perfect loop designed by people who understand psychology. They know how to trigger your desire for instant gratification. They make the buy button big and bright. They make the terms and conditions small and boring. And honestly, most of us never read them. We just want to move on with our lives. But the debt doesn't move on. It follows you everywhere. It sits in the back of your mind during dinner. It's there when you're trying to fall asleep. Debt is more than just numbers on a screen. It's a form of invisible pressure. Think about how your behavior changes when you owe money. You might stay at a job you hate because you can't miss a single paycheck. The debt makes you predictable. It makes you easier to manage. Have you noticed how society rewards you for having a high credit score? A credit score doesn't measure how much money you have. It measures how good you are at paying back debt. The system literally gives you a grade based on your relationship with lenders. If you don't play the game, your score drops. Then, when you actually need a loan, the interest rate is even higher. It's a penalty for not participating in the cycle. Everything is connected. Your phone plan, your insurance, and even your apartment application depend on that score. It's a social passport created by banks. Why did we let a private company decide our financial worth? We've been told that debt is a tool, but a tool should work for you, not against you. Most modern debt works like a weight. It keeps you from taking risks. You don't start that business or move to that new city. The risk feels too high when you have a balance to maintain. Look at how marketing has changed over the decades. It used to be about the quality of the product. Now, it's about how easily you can finance it. Car advertisements don't even show the total price anymore. They just show a low monthly number in bold text. It makes a $60,000 truck feel like a small monthly subscription. But that subscription lasts for 7 or 8 years. By the time you pay it off, the truck is worth half of what you owe. You're literally paying for the past. Does that feel like a fair trade? Companies know that if they can get you into a payment plan, they have you. You become a recurring source of revenue. You aren't just a customer anymore. You're an asset on their balance sheet, and the interest you pay is their profit. It's a transfer of wealth from your future self to their current shareholders. Think about how much more your money could do if it stayed in your pocket. Every dollar spent on interest is a dollar that isn't working for you. It isn't growing in an investment account. It isn't buying your freedom. It's just disappearing into a giant building downtown. Does that bother you? It should. The cycle starts earlier than you might think. Think back to when you were 18. That was likely the first time someone offered you a credit card. You were probably still in school. You didn't have a full-time job yet, but the banks were already lining up to give you a line of credit. They call it building your future. In reality, they are capturing a lifelong customer. Once you start using credit for basic needs, it's hard to stop. Student loans are the biggest part of this entry point. You're told it's an investment in yourself, but it's also a debt that can't be wiped away easily. It stays with you through your 20s and 30s. Sometimes it follows you all the way to retirement. How does it feel to start your adult life in a hole? It changes the way you look at a salary. You don't see $50,000 a year. You see what's left after the minimum payments. This creates a sense of constant scarcity. Even when you earn more, you don't feel richer. This is called lifestyle creep, but debt fuels it. As your income goes up, your credit limit goes up too. The banks send you letters saying you've been pre-approved for more. They make it feel like an achievement or a reward. It isn't a reward. It's an invitation to dig the hole a little deeper. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to find a delete account button? But the Apply Now button is always right there. It's at the checkout counter and in your email inbox. The friction is removed from spending. Digital payments make the loss of money feel less real. Swiping a card doesn't feel the same as handing over a stack of bills. It's just a beep and a blinking light. You don't feel the sting of the purchase until the statement arrives. By then, the dopamine hit from the new item is long gone. You're left with the bill and the clutter. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? It's because the world around us normalized it. Everyone you know is doing the exact same thing. Your parents did it, and your friends are doing it. We compare our lifestyles to people who are also deep in debt. It's a race to the bottom that looks like a race to the top. You see the new car in the driveway next door. You don't see the 5-year loan behind it. We are living in a society of high-definition appearances and low-balance bank accounts. Look at how many stores now offer rent-to-own furniture. You end up paying 3 times the value of the sofa, but because the weekly cost is low, people sign up. They want the comfort now and worry about the cost later. The system is betting that you won't do the math. Most of us are too busy to sit down with a calculator, and the banks are counting on that. They use complex language to hide simple truths. Compound interest is a miracle when you're saving, but it's a nightmare when you're borrowing. It means you're paying interest on the interest you already owe. The math is rigged to keep you paying for as long as possible. Why else would the minimum payment be so low? If you only pay the minimum, a $3,000 balance can take 10 years to clear. By then, you've paid back double what you originally spent. It's like buying the same thing twice, but only getting to keep it once. Look at the holiday season. The entire retail industry depends on people overspending in November and December. They want you to feel guilty if you don't buy the best gifts. So you put it all on a card. You tell yourself you'll pay it off in January, but January comes with new bills and higher heating costs. The holiday debt rolls into February, then March. Suddenly it's summer, and you're still paying for last year's tinsel. The momentum of life keeps pushing you forward, but the debt pulls you back. Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill? You're working harder, but your net worth isn't moving. That's because the system is designed to harvest your productivity. Your labor is being converted into interest payments. You aren't just working for your boss or your family. You're working for the creditors. Think about the stress this puts on your health. Financial worry is one of the leading causes of anxiety in North America. It strains marriages and ruins sleep. Yet we rarely talk about it openly. We treat debt like a personal failure rather than a systemic design. But if everyone is in debt, is it really just a personal mistake? Or is the environment we live in toxic to our savings? Everywhere you look, there's an incentive to borrow. Government policies often encourage it to keep the economy moving. When people stop spending, the economy slows down, so the fix is often to make borrowing even cheaper. They lower the interest rates to tempt you back into the stores. They want you to keep the engine running with your future earnings. But what happens when you run out of future? What happens when you can't borrow anymore? That's when the trap finally snaps shut. The grace periods end. The late fees start piling up. The phone calls from unknown numbers begin. Honestly, it's a heavy way to live. But there is a way to see through the smoke and mirrors. It starts with realizing that your debt is someone else's profit. Once you see the profit motive, the world looks different. You start noticing the convenience traps everywhere. Think about the apps on your phone that store your card info. They want to make spending as frictionless as possible. If you have to type in 16 digits, you might change your mind. If you just have to click confirm, the money is gone in a second. The system is built to bypass your logic and hit your impulses. Why is it so hard to save, but so easy to spend? Because saving requires you to fight against the entire culture. Every billboard and commercial tells you that you deserve a treat. They tell you that luxury is a right, not a privilege. And if you can't afford it today, that's what credit is for. It's a lie wrapped in shiny packaging. The truth is that debt limits your choices. A person with a large savings account can walk away from a bad situation. A person with a large debt balance is trapped. This is why debt is often called modern-day sharecropping. You work the land, but the harvest belongs to someone else. Look at how credit cards offer rewards and cash back. It feels like you're winning, doesn't it? But where do you think the free money comes from? It comes from the merchant fees and the interest paid by others. It's a psychological trick to make you feel like a savvy spender. It keeps you using the card for every single transaction. They want the plastic to be an extension of your hand. Have you ever tried to go a full week using only cash? It's actually difficult in many parts of the country now. Some places won't even accept your paper money. They want a digital trail. They want a system that allows for automated payments. Automated payments are the set it and forget it of the debt world. You stop looking at the individual costs. They just blend into one big monthly drain on your account. This disconnection is exactly what the lenders want. They want you to be passive. They want you to accept the outgoing tide of cash as inevitable. But it's not inevitable. It's a choice that was made for you by designers and bankers. Think about the psychological toll of a limited time offer. It creates a sense of urgency that doesn't really exist. It forces you to make a financial decision under pressure. And pressure is the enemy of good judgment. Most people regret their debt, but they don't regret the items. That's because the item is tangible and the debt is abstract. Until the bill comes, then the reality of the trade becomes clear. You traded hours of your life for something that is already losing value. Is your time really worth that little? We need to start valuing our time more than our stuff. Reclaiming your time starts with a simple realization. You have to stop viewing debt as a shortcut. It is actually a long way round to get to where you want to be. Every payment you send out is a piece of your freedom leaving the room. Look at your bank statement from last month. Count how many of those charges were for things you already forgot. Now count the interest charges. That is money you worked for that provided zero value to your life. It didn't buy food, it didn't pay for heat, and it didn't entertain you. It was just a fee for being impatient. Why are we so afraid of waiting? The world has taught us that waiting is a failure. We want the house now, the car now, and the vacation now. But building wealth is a slow process by design. There are no shortcuts that don't come with a hidden cost. The cost of the debt lifestyle is a life of constant underlying stress. Think about the person who owns everything they have. They might have an older car or a smaller house, but they own their time. They don't have to check their balance before buying a cup of coffee. They don't panic when the phone rings. That peace of mind is the one thing the debt trap can't provide. In fact, the system relies on you feeling just a little bit anxious. Anxiety makes you more likely to spend money to feel better. It's a cycle of consuming to mask the stress of consumption. How do you break out of a world designed to keep you in? You start by saying no to the easy options. You stop looking at credit as an extension of your income. It's not your money. It's a high-interest product you are buying. Try to see the world for what it is. It's a giant machine designed to extract your future energy. Every time you choose to save instead of borrow, you're taking a piece of that energy back. It feels small at first. A few dollars here and a paid-off card there. But eventually, the momentum shifts in your favor. You start to see the pre-approved offers as the traps they really are. You start to value the empty space in your budget. That empty space is where your future lives. It's where your ability to say no to a bad boss comes from. It's the power to handle an emergency without a panic attack. Honestly, the best things in life aren't things at all. They are the moments when you feel completely in control of your path. The modern world will keep trying to sell you a version of success you can't afford. Don't buy it. True wealth is the ability to live on your own terms. It's time to stop funding the banks and start funding your life. The trap only works if you keep walking into it. Take a step back, look at the exit, and finally, just walk away.